In this video, let's talk why we can't remember. Why can't we remember? We pay our full attention on studying. We go to different classes to learn English. But we can't remember this. Let's see why. When we are going to find out why we can't remember, we have to pay our attention a little bit on psychology. Because what is our storage? If you want to study something, if you want to remember something, what part of your body do you use for that? You have to use your brain. You have to use your mind. You have to use your thoughts. In your opinion, about how many thoughts do we think a day? How many thoughts do we think in a day? It is said that approximately 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts, 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts that we think in a day. Can you imagine? Right, let's take it like this. I was standing over here. A line of hangers, this is called the hanger, is just going around you again and again. That means that is not going passing you, it is going around you. What does it mean? That means it is said that the same thought that we thought yesterday, we use again today. Closely 90%, more than 90% of the thoughts that we thought yesterday are being associated by us today also. That means we think as a habit the same kind of thoughts consciously or subconsciously. That means knowing or without knowing. Okay. Now thoughts are going on like hangers, as I told you. You take one thought. This is a thought that you selected. Now you keep thinking. So now the thought is with you. Now you pay your attention on this thought. That is what you call thinking. Right, you start thinking, you keep thinking for a long time without giving a break to your brain. For days, for weeks, for months, for years, you think about something, giving a sort of stress to your mind, to your brain. That is called the stress. If you keep thinking for a long time, consecutively, unnecessarily, that means you are stressed, you are having stress. If you pay your attention on what happened in the past, something happened in the past, some dire experience that you have received, that you have got in your life, that you don't want to think that happened in the past, maybe that you have lost something, maybe some of your loved persons died some time ago, you cannot forget it, you keep thinking about them. That was in the past, but you can't stop thinking. When you pay your attention on what happened in the past for a long period of time, you are stopping it, you can't stop it, you can't stop thinking about it. So you are liable to have depression. When you keep thinking about something past, that you don't want to do that, that's a sort of bad experience in your life, you are liable to have depression. On the other hand, if you are pre-planning for something too much, you are too anxious about some future events to come, you are anxious, you are nervous that is to come in future, then you are liable to have anxiety, stress, depression, anxiety. If you are a person who thinks all the time that I can't do that. No, I'm not good enough. I'm not talented enough. I can't do that. I'm not strong enough. I'm not healthy enough. Then your thoughts are negative. This kind of thinking is called negative thinking or pessimism. If you are a person to say, of course I can. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can win this. I have a target in my life. I know what my destination is. I can. I'm so happy about myself. Then your thoughts are kind of positive, right? That is called positive thinking or optimism. They say that a kid, small child, can study, can remember 3 languages at once without writing in any book. They don't need to use any materials to write and remember. They can remember automatically. A child can study 3 languages simultaneously at the same time. But we have been trying for English for a long time, but still we are struggling. Why? It is like this. When you take our storage, that means our mind, we can divide it into 2 categories, like conscious mind and subconscious mind. Let's take a photo or the picture like this. This is your mind. We can have 2 sections, like the upper part and the inner part. The top part, the surface, is called the conscious mind or the creative mind. The inner part is called the subconscious mind or the program mind. Also we can call it the habitual mind. This is conscious, this is subconscious. When you keep thinking about something for a long time, you keep thinking about the same thing again and again, after some times that goes down into your subconscious mind. What is going into your subconscious mind is called the habit. You keep thinking about the same thing again and again. After some times that becomes a habit. Firstly, we use the conscious mind, creative mind. This is called the creative mind because we use conscious mind to think of something, to create something, to plan something. After planning, after thinking, after creating the same thing, when you keep doing it again and again and again and again, that becomes a habit. When something becomes a habit, you don't need to pay your full attention for that. This part of your mind, the subconscious mind, is doing that automatically. I'll give you an example like this to understand, to define what the conscious mind, what the subconscious mind. You just imagine that you start driving a vehicle for the first day. You have never sat on the seat of a vehicle. This is the first day that you are going to drive. When you take the steering wheel, you pay your full attention on what you are going to do. Alright? You can't even look aside. You can't even look right, look left, look back, even look forward. It is sort of nervous because you are not used to this. This is not a habit. First day, even if you start riding a bicycle for the first day, if you have ridden a bike, you can remember the first day how nervous I was. At that time, we use our conscious mind. Conscious mind means that is not a habit. We pay our full attention on what we are doing. So the days are going. The first day you start, you're feeling nervous, you're feeling anxious, you're afraid. But you keep doing that. The days are going, the second day, the fourth day, the seventh day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, then 1 year. Now you are an experienced driver. So after about 5-10 years, now you've been driving the vehicle for a long time. Now when you start driving, your fear is not there. You are not anxious about this. You are not afraid about this. You are not nervous of this. Okay? Now we are not using your conscious mind. Now you are using your subconscious mind because that has become a habit. Now we are doing it automatically. It is programmed. Like I told you earlier, you go out of the house to go to your office, for example. You get onto your bike or you get into your car. You just leave home. Sometimes you don't know what you came across or what you met or whom you met on the road. You've been thinking something else. Your activity is done by the subconscious mind, your program mind. You are not paying your full attention. Studying also the same. As adults, we have a lot of things in our subconscious mind now over here. We've been thinking, we've been putting a lot of habits here. So, when you are going to put something as new right now, as a habit, now, for example, you are going to study a new language that you are not familiar. You are trying to make it a habit, but the storage is full. There is no space for that. That is why we can't remember. But when you take a child, for example, when you try to put something, there is no problem at all. There is nothing to refuse. That's why children can remember. That's why we cannot remember. Because our storage is almost full right now. Now, let's apply this one into learning English. Why we can't? You go to a class, for example. You go to a class and start studying. You might have been feeling that when I start a class, when I start studying, when I go to the class for the first day, the second day, I can understand very well. But when the days are going on, after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks going on, then I have some problems. Then I can't remember. Why is that, you may be thinking? That also is like driving a vehicle, starting how to drive a vehicle. The first day you pay your full attention. You use your conscious mind. Like you sat on the seat for the first day to drive your vehicle. You are paying your full attention on what you are doing. So going into a class for the first day also the same. Okay? You go to the class, you don't know the teacher, you don't know the people around, they are friends of yours, you are new to this. This environment also is sort of unfamiliar to you now. So, you are sort of nervous for the first day. You pay your full attention on what is being discussed in the class. Your thoughts, 50,000, 70,000, you just calculate and see if you are dealing with about 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. If you stay in the classroom, about how many thoughts are coming into your mind for 2 hours. But for the first day, for the second day, because you use your conscious mind, creative mind, you suppress all the other thoughts. You just pay your full attention on what you are doing. First day you can understand very well, the second day also the same. Now when the days are running, you're becoming familiar with the environment. Now the teacher is a little bit friendly. We have now friends in the classroom. Now that becomes a habit. Like after becoming a habit, the driving becomes automatical. When you go out of the house, when you leave home, until you go to your destination, you don't know what you met on the road. Like that, you come to class, you sit in the class. Sometimes you spend about 2 hours. You're bodily there, but your mind, you mentally outside. The other thoughts are coming. Now you have different thoughts with you because you try to study, but being adults, we have a lot of responsibilities. Sometimes it could be your personal problem, your problems at the workplace, financial issues we have, and our children's problems, maybe something with your spouse. So everything is coming. After sometimes you stop paying your full attention on to what you are studying in the classroom. The other thoughts are coming. Also, sometimes we don't know that, like we are driving the vehicle after becoming an experienced person, we are going to class as a habit, we are not paying our full attention. That is what happens. Right. Now you may be thinking, yes, I had all these problems, but I went to class continuously. Despite all these problems, I attended the class properly. I did all the homework that the teacher gave. I can remember all the materials that the teacher taught. At the end of the course, our teacher gave us a sort of assessment or a test. I passed that also very well. My certificate also is perfect. That means I have got the highest mark for that. But still, I have some problems in English. Then you have to think, you have to find where you studied. Then you have a problem. Where did you study? Who taught you is a problem. I'm just telling you, teaching adults is not a joke. First of all, the teacher must have studied this language as a student. After that, teacher has to study to teach. Following some courses, facing some examinations and getting qualified as a student is not good enough to teach. To be a teacher, you must have qualifications as a teacher. So teaching English, teaching adults is a different aspect. Especially dealing with adults, you have to study a little bit of psychology also. Because as a student studying all those, as a teacher gaining some educational qualifications to teach adults. But when you have experience teaching for about 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you come to a conclusion that no, these qualifications are not going to do what I'm looking for. My students are in trouble. They start, they attend class, but after sometimes they just stop. They drop out. It is not my problem, but they drop out. I know it is not my problem because after sometimes, after 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, they ring me again and ask, sir, because of this problem, I had to stop the class, but I want to study this, sir. I must study this, sir. Then the teacher has to pay attention on a little bit of psychology. So I'm telling you, see, the qualifications, international level qualifications for a student, as a student that you can take, I'm just giving you sort of explanation about some Cambridge examinations, tests for the students. They have some sections like A, B and C. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Beginners, elementary, intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced, proficiency. They are the levels. You may have heard this. A1, YLE, movers, the test. A2, elementary level, YLE, flyers, or CAT. B1, intermediate, PET. B2, upper intermediate, FCE. C1, advanced, CAE. C2, proficiency level, CPE. They are the tests that you can gain as a students. They are international level. They are the qualifications recognized by the whole world. They've been set by Cambridge University. For students, to become a teacher, these qualifications are not enough. Then you have to find some qualifications, examinations, TKT, CELTA, Delta. I have written only a few. They are internationally recognized examinations, qualifications by Cambridge. As a student, you are studying all those, or some of them. As a teacher, you are studying all those, some of them. When you study these things, when you are dealing with international level teachers, you cannot do that if you have studied only Indian accent. In Sri Lanka, in our country, we are using Indian accent. But they are Cambridge qualifications. In these courses, we meet British accent, American accent, and people from Australia, the teachers, the lecturers, maybe from New Zealand, okay, from Canada. So their accent, you got to study. Then as a teacher, when you are going through these qualifications, these examinations, you have to pay your attention on accents also. Right? When you take accents means the different ways of speaking the same language. We have British accent, American accent, Australian accent, New Zealand accent, Canadian accent. You have a lot of things. If you are interested, I'll show some videos at the end of this the present video. I'll put some end screen. I have done some for accents and British English, American English, and these examinations also I have done a video. You can just go through and study something. So in this, what I was discussing was why we can't remember. Why can't you remember? Because our mind is occupied. It is busy. Our brain is sort of full now. So if you want to study, I'm not telling you can't do that, but you have to find the correct teacher if you want to study this one. You have to find the correct path to study this language. Adults, you are just going here and there looking for some classes, wouldn't be helpful, my dear students. First of all, you have to realize why we can't remember. Okay, I'll come to you with another lesson.